Father on the right, and all the dear sentient beings, leaving none aside. And here, you are leading them in this practice, looking at them with unconditional love. And the purpose of the practice, to awaken the seed of perfection, the source of ultimate happiness, the Buddha nature within us, by removing the gross and subtle mental obscurations. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Ghangi tyungse nersongne tawa dhamche pangpe chir dhampe choni tonze pa Gautam dela tsaktselo. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. Gangi penching delvarjung, gappa me pa khe me pa, chepa me pa tak me pa, owa me pa dro me pa, thate dun min dun chik min, tropa nishi shitan pa, zokpe sangye manam ki, dhampa dela tsakselo. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps subduers expound a variety of teachings. Nantha Shiva Solnam Kuncheni Ki Nirshe Trize Ghaye Dha Drola Pen Paje Nam Lam Sheni Ki Jikten Don Rupse Pagha Ganga Gyanga Ten Pe Thub Nam Nam Pa Kunden Natso Di Song Pa Nantha Jam Jup Sen Pe Sokche Sanghe Kini Yungde La Tsakselo. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to you I make prostrations. Semar Gyurpa Drola Penshepa, Tonpa Deshe Kyobla Tsakselo. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Tope Drawa Nam Selching, Zapching Geche Punawa, Kuntu Zampo Ozerdam, Kunne Trola Tsakselo. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Cholam Sogi Chonam La, Jhamjo Bardu Dharme Kyapsochi, Dhage Jinsogi Pe Soknam Ki, Drola Pencher Sangye Druparsho. Sangye Cholam Sogi Chonam La, Jhamjo Bardu Dharme Kyapsochi, Dhage Jinsogi Pe Soknam Ki, Drola Pencher Sangye Druparsho. Sangye Chodam Sogi Chodam La, Chanjo Bardu Dharme Kapsuchi, Dhage Jinsogi Pe Soknam Ki, Drola Pencher Sangye Druparsho. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such as the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Sabshi Jodel Ozel Dumaje, Dusita Pucho Shekune, Sula Shekango Varminupe, Nima Nangi Natsune Parcha. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of the self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. Masam Jome Shera Paro Chin, Make Miga Nakai no Boni, Soso Rangri Yeshe Choyulpa, Yusum Gyalwa Yungat Satselo. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of all. I go for refuge in the Guru. Lama Sanghe Lama Che, Deshin Lama Gendunte, Kunki Jepo Lama Yin, Lama Namda Satselo. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. Chana Chenpo Drayini, Senchen Dunyil Thagi Ching, Kelpa Jeva Samyesu, Choten Zeching Suksu So. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove the miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. Tumnam Dekpa Choli Yuni Trushin, Drova Dunya Jagi Mizella, Niki Koppa Shenla Pomente, Cholan Delpa Tempe Drolvar Gyur. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Choknam Kungi Sangela, Thelmo Jate Solvai, Senchen Dunya Munthunla, Jogi Drome Parthu So. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicit. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Sede Lashenna Chapa Min, Korwa Lashenna Nanjum Min, Rangon Lashenna Jansen Min, Zinpa Junna Tava Min. Page 14, Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, flame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Thus free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagat I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 19. Sun illuminating the threefold faith. Praise to the 17 Nalanda Masters. Born from great compassion, aspiring to help all beings, God of gods, you have attained the savior state of abandonment and realization, and you guide beings through the discourse of dependent origination. O able one, the son of speech, I bow my head to you. I implore you at your feet, O Nagarjuna, most skilled in elucidating suchness free of elaborations, the meaning of sutras, the mother of conquerors, through the profound reasoning of dependent origination, in accord with the conqueror's prophecy, you initiated the middle way, the supreme vehicle. I implore you to your principal son, Bodhisattva Arideva, most learned and realized, who has crossed the ocean of Buddhist and non-Buddhist tenet systems, and is the crown jewel among those who uphold Nagarjuna's treatises. I implore you, O Buddha Balita, who has reached the supreme adept state, and who has clearly elucidated Arya Nagarjuna's intent, the final meaning of dependent origination, the profound point of mere designation and as mere label. I implore you, O Master Bhavaviveka, fully accomplished Pandita, you initiated the philosophical tradition wherein, while negating extremes of truly existing things, arising and so forth, you uphold commonly verified knowledge and external reality. I implore you, O Chandrakirti, who disseminated all the parts of Sutra and Tantra, you are most skilled in teaching the profound and the vast aspects of the middle way, the union of appearance and emptiness dispelling the two extremes, by means of dependent origination that is mere conditionality. I implore you, O Bodhisattva Shantideva, skilled at revealing to the assembly of fortunate spiritual trainees the excellent path of compassion that is greatly wondrous, through a multitude of reasoning most profound and vast. I implore you, O Master Abbot Shantarakshita, who initiated the tradition of the non-dual middle way, in accordance with the trainee's mental disposition. You are versed in the reasoning modes of both middle way and logic, and you disseminated the conqueror's teaching in the land of snows. I implore you at your feet, O Kamalashila, you who, having explained excellently the stages of meditation of the middle way view, free of elaborations, and the union of tranquility and insight in accordance with Sutra and Tantra, flawlessly elucidated the Conqueror's teaching in the land of snows. I implore you at your feet, O Asanga, you who, sustained by Maitreya, were versed in disseminating excellently all Mahayana scriptures and taught the vast path, and who, in accord with the Conqueror's prophecy, initiated the tradition of mind only. I implore you at your feet, O Master Vasubandhu, you who, while upholding the systems of the 7 Abhidharma treatises, as well as non-duality, illuminated the tenets of Vaibhashika, Sautantrika, and mind only. Foremost among learned ones, you are renowned as a second omniscient one. I implore you at your feet, O Dignaga, the logician, you who, in order to present the Buddha's way through evidence-based reasoning, opened 100-fold gateways of the system of logic and offered as a gift to the world the eyes of critical intelligence. I implore you at your feet, O Dharmakirti, you who, understanding all the essential points of both Buddhist and non-Buddhist epistemology, brought conviction in all the profound and vast paths of Sautantrika and mind only by means of reasoning. You were most versed in teaching the excellent Dharma. I implore you at your feet, O Arya Vimuktasena, you who lit the lamp that illuminates the meaning of the ornament treatise, wherein the themes of the perfectional wisdom, stemming from Asanga and his brother, were expounded in accord with the middle way view, free of existence and non-existence. I implore you, O Master Haribhadra, who were prophesied by the Conqueror as expounder of the meaning of the Mother, the perfection of wisdom. You elucidated the excellent treatise on the perfection of wisdom, the Three Mothers, in perfect accord with the instruction of the Savior Maitreya. I implore you at your feet, O Gunaprabha, most excellent in both integrity and scholarship, who, having excellently distilled the intent of 100,000 disciplinary teachings, expounded the individual liberation vows flawlessly according to the tradition of the Sarvasivada school. I implore you at your feet, O Shatyaprabha, supreme upholder of discipline, who reigned over the treasury of the qualities of the 3 trainings in order to disseminate the stainless Vinaya teachings for a long time. You excellently expounded the meaning of the vast treatises. I implore you, O Jovadisha, you who, having taught all the profound and vast traditions related to the words of the Buddha, within the framework of the path of the persons of 3 capacities, were the most kind master disseminating the Buddha's teaching in the land of snows. Having thus entreated these most learned ornaments of the world, the excellent sources of wondrous and insightful teachings, may I be blessed so that my mind becomes ripened and free, through the entreaty I made with a mind unwavering and pure. By understanding the 2 truths, the ontological reality, will we ascertain how, through the 4 truths, we enter and leave samsara. I will make firm the faith in the 3 jewels that is born of valid reason. May I be blessed so that the root of the path of liberation is firmly established within me. May I be blessed to perfect the training in renunciation, an aspiration for liberation, the total pacification of suffering and its origin, as well as in an uncontrived bodhicitta that is rooted in an infinite compassion that wishes to protect all sentient beings. May I be blessed so that I may easily develop conviction in all the paths pertaining to the profound points of the perfection and Vajra vehicle, by engaging in study, reflection and meditation on the meaning of the treatises of the great trailblazers. May I, in life after life, obtain excellent births that support the 3 trainings and contribute to the teaching that equals the great trailblazers in upholding and disseminating the teaching of scripture and realization. Through engaging in exposition and meditative practice, may the members of all spiritual communities spend their time in learning, reflection and meditation, shunning wrong livelihood, Through the proliferation of sublime masters, may the great face of the earth be beautified throughout all time. Through the power of this supplication, may I traverse all the paths of Sutra and Tantra and swiftly attain the state of conqueror's omniscience, characterized by spontaneous realization of the two purposes. May I work for the welfare of sentient beings as long as space remains.
What's next?
Heart Sutra Mantra, page 31. Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhi Swaha Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhi Swaha Tayatha 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 Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhi Swaha. Next page, page 32, 8 verses of mind training. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections vast as space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance.
Okay, okay, maybe towards the end we'll do a little bit of question answers. There are questions, several questions coming up, written questions. Okay, so first we will continue the class. I think from commentary page 160. 160, and then which one? The last paragraph? Explaining the meaning that comes from that. Okay. So very quickly to the commentary, the big book, page 160. In the middle, there's the section which reads explaining the meaning that comes from that. The idea is that the idea is that how does one account for the link between the cause and effect, the cause in terms of the karma that one had accumulated, and the effect in terms of the resultant state of the following birth, when the karma accumulated is something that accumulated, like say the several lifetimes ago, many eons ago, and then the result they're experiencing is eons later or many lifetimes later. Two of them, the cause and effect, separated by number of eons of many lifetimes. How can one account for the link between the two? If one does not espouse, if one does not accept intrinsic objective reality, if it is purely coming from the mind, purely subjective, then how does one account for that? So the Chittamatras following the reasoning, they would say that so this can be accounted on the basis of the objectively existent alivigyan, so which is that thing which carries the karmic imprints from one life to till the resultant state, even though the two will be separated, the cause and effect, the karma and the resultant state, they would be separated by many lifetimes. So this alivigyan, objectively existent alivigyan, truly existent alivigyan will carry this. So therefore this is what connects the two or links the two. And then for the Vaibhashikas, they talk about the objectively existent, truly existent phenomena known as the non-waste stage and the acquisition and so forth, which are responsible for, which are responsible for connecting the karma accumulated or the karma done and the result that you're going to experience after maybe many lifetimes. And whereas the, let's say the South Tantra school, Savatantra Madhyamika, then they would account for, they would explain, they would bring forth the concept of the continuum of the mind. Continuum of mind, that is responsible for connecting the two things. An objectively existent continuum of the mind, that is what connects the karma and the results that are going to experience later. Okay, so all these, what we learned is, of course, in the following stanzas from the root text, alivigyan concept is going to be rejected, and then likewise the non-waste stage, the acquisition, so forth, they're going to be rejected. May not be explicitly, but they rejected. And the continuum is one thing that we need to think very seriously. What the South Tantra said and what the Savatantra Madhyamika says of the mental continuum, which is responsible for connecting the cause and effect, that we have to very seriously think. Don't just say that, okay, simply because this is not accepted Prasangika. In the first place, they don't just say that it is not accepted Prasangika. Thus far, the Lama Tsongkhapa simply cited these positions. And we may get the impression that these are the positions accepted by the opponents, but we have to seriously think. And the approach should be very objective, in that in that what we accept should not be due to the bias thinking, our biases towards prasanga. It should not happen. It should be very objective. And why not, even if the prasanga is the final understanding, so why not in prasanga we can accept the mental continuum as the one which accounts for the link between the cause and effect, or the karma, and the results, when the two of them are separated by many lifetimes or the many eons of the time. Okay, this question. And then what we've learned thus far, at least what we've learned, is that prasanga, they talk about what is known as the disintegratedness, the phenomena of disintegratedness. And they say that this disintegratedness, while the other schools, okay, the Vaibhashika, one thing that we need to keep in mind is that the positions of the Vaibhashika, oftentimes there are many positions, oftentimes there are positions which are shared, which are shared as agreeable only to Vaibhashika and Prasangikas. There are several of these positions. And the other schools, like Southampton School, Chittamatra, the Svatana Madhyamika, they may not agree, but then Vaibhashika and Prasangika, two of them agree. There are many of these positions, one of which is the disintegratedness, time, all three times, past, present, future. Both schools, Vaibhashika and Prasangika, except that the three times are impermanent. This is something which is not acceptable, which is not accepted by the other schools. So only the present is the impermanent. Present is a functional thing, whereas the past and future, they're permanent phenomena. And the Prasangika explains that the Vaibhashika and Prasangika, they say that all three times are impermanent. And another point is, how can you say that the past and future, these two are impermanent? How? So Prasangika would give the explanations. Vaibhashika would just follow according to what the Buddha literally said. They accept it. They may not necessarily have reasons to explain how that is so. Whereas the Prasangika always employs or provides reasoning. Now the point is that how does the Prasangika relate the phenomenon of disintegratedness with this main question, the question as to how the karmas that we've accumulated, say today, and this karma, the next moment of the karma disintegrates. Then the very next moment, this particular karma is no more there. And then maybe after say the 500 lifetimes, or after many eons, this karma ripens. And the effect is there. In fact, you see after lapse of the many years, many lifetimes, and the cause was accumulated many lifetimes before. So what really connects the two? Without the connection, it becomes like a random phenomenon. So what connects the two? Then the Acharya Chandrakirti Prasangika is talking about this karma. The next moment, it disintegrates. So this disintegratedness, this phenomena of disintegratedness of this karma is not permanent. It is impermanent. Because it is impermanent, it keeps changing. There's something there, impermanent phenomena, which keeps changing, and then because it is impermanent phenomena, it has a potential. So this potential, which was inherited from the early cause. What is the early cause, preceding cause? Karma. So that karma, whatever potential that it has, that potential is not wasted. That is being carried in the manifestation of the disintegratedness. So this disintegratedness will again, the very next moment of this disintegratedness will disintegrate. Again, the disintegratedness or the disintegratedness will be created. So this is how it is being passed down. So this disintegratedness is the one which connects the ripening of the result after however many lifetimes or time with the karma which was accumulated many lifetimes ago. So this is how they give the answer. Now the more detailed explanation will be what we're going to see here. Okay, let's see page 160, explaining the meaning that comes from that. A. Non-inherent cessation, the way of proceeding in the reasons for not asserting the mind base of all. Non-inherent cessation. Cessation or the disintegratedness. Say something which disintegrates, something which ceases. Okay, so because of this says we are learning this in English, and the English, as I said earlier, there's a benefit, there's a demerit both, and if you maintain a very open mind with a very clear understanding of the concept, then there's a tremendous merit because vocabularies, terminologies, they're much more same, used in the various contexts, and then your mind will have that agility to understand, okay, this English word is used here, but actually it meant this, because this is the context in which the author is trying to explain, and the translator used this English word. So you will not be swayed, you will not be misguided because of the vocabularies, because of the usage of the English words. So whereas if you don't know the concept so well, then the danger is that you can easily get lost, and then it's a huge demerit. Okay, so the point is that it says non-inherent cessation, non-inherent disintegratedness, the way of proceeding in the reasons for not asserting a mind base all. So the Madhyamikas, particularly Prasanga Madhyamika, although they don't accept mind base all, Alivigyan, the one which connects the two things, cause and effect, but what made them very confident to account for this cause and effect relationship while they don't accept the Alivigyan is because they accept the non-inherent disintegratedness, right? Okay, how does it help? So the point is that, okay, this is what they accept, that made them confident not to accept Alivigyan, and still they account for the cause of a relationship. So okay, this is fine, then how? Right? So these are the questions that we need to have. Don't forget this question. B. Although not asserting the mind base of all, positing a basis for the latencies. Okay, so now if there's no Alivigyan, then how would you explain the basis for the latencies? Latencies meaning the imprints of the karma, right? What holds the imprints of the karma? Okay, the first part, non-inherent cessation, non-inherent disintegratedness, the way of proceeding in the reasons for not asserting a mind basis of all. Objection meaning opponent's view. Although there is no inherently existent cessation, due to the statements ceased actions in some, which are ceased and not inherently existent, even in our system, the cessation of that action, cessation or the disintegratedness of that action, subsequent to the action's production, would have to be asserted in accordance with the statement they are indicated, which means that, say, the action or the karma is created, produced, and the next moment the disintegratedness is created. Okay, they are indicated to be extinguished in the conventional sense, meaning that the next moment the karma is going to be extinguished meaning disintegrated. In that case, if one, cessation is not a functional thing, if that cessation, or okay, don't confuse this with the cessation in the context of the third noble truth, cessation of the, okay, don't just, because it's the same word used by the translator. Okay, let me see. Okay, Um, okay. Okay, so the word in English would be disintegratedness. This would be better, disintegratedness. But it's not that cessation is totally wrong. This is not the thing. You can just give the choice, cessation or disintegratedness. Meanwhile, keep in mind not to mix this up with the cessation in the context of the third noble truth. Third noble truth, that cessation is a permanent phenomenon. You're getting it? Don't mix the two things. Okay. And of course you can explore more. You can explore more. Say in the context of the third noble truth, how it becomes a permanent. It is a permanent phenomenon. How in this context is an impermanent phenomenon. All these things you have to explore. You're getting it. Let me not go into detail as of now. Then you will know. You will lose track of the topic. For the time being, let's say that what we're discussing here, the words they translated use as cessation, we can just give a choice, the two choices, cessation or disintegratedness. Okay, in this context, disintegratedness is impermanent phenomenon.
Yeah. Is it disintegratedness or disintegrated?
Disintegratedness, the noun form. Disintegrated is the verb form. We are looking for the disintegratedness.
Is there such a word?
I don't know.
There isn't. It's disintegration. It's around that.
Disintegrate. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. So this is a very good point. Whether or not there's such a word, disintegratedness, right? Okay. This is a very good thing that is raised. We have to check. If it's not there, then we have to use the word the state of disintegration. Disintegration is not a good choice.
Yeah.
Disintegration again has ambiguity there. Disintegration has ambiguity there. It can take the form of the verb. It can take the form of the verb, not verb, form of the verb, disintegration, act of disintegration, right? Okay, so this is something that thank you, the ontology, thank you so much, that we have to check whether or not there is such a word, disintegratedness. And if there is no word, then we have to go directly to the state of disintegration. Very good. Okay, why not? For the time, why not we use directly the state of disintegration, which is not controversial. No ambiguity there. Later on, if you find this word, disintegratedness, is amazing, then we have a second choice. Okay, so let's say the state of disintegration. Very good. Okay, where are we? Point one. In that case, the state of disintegration or the cessation is not a functional thing. Okay, this is opponent's view. Opponents, what they're saying, that the state of disintegration, of course, it is not a functional thing. How it is not a functional thing, again, it's going to be explained further. Number two, a mind based on all and so forth as a basis for the relationship between actions and results are not asserted. Prasanga, you don't assert that, right? And you don't assert that, and the disintegrations, what? The state of disintegration cannot do anything because it's the non-functional thing, and you don't assert the other possibilities like alivia and so forth. So due to the argument about the inadmissibility of a result arising from a ceased action, after a long time has elapsed, the previous responses are not sufficient. Responses given pertaining to the concept of alivia, non-wastage, acquisition, so forth, they are not sufficient. And the continuum of the mind, I would say, is not sufficient, right? But don't just follow what I'm saying. We have to learn. We have to inquire as to how even this continuum of the mind, as the basis on the ground of which one explains the cause and effect relationship. Okay, response. There is no fault, since the very reason given in the supplement that states, therefore, they do not inherently cease, they do not inherently disintegrate. So the answer is already given there. Did you get the answer? Huh? You got the answer, but you don't know how there is answer. Right? You know that this answer given, but you don't know how there is answer. Okay. Due to that, establishes that a later result arises from the disintegratedness. Okay. Somebody has the Google Internet. Quickly search for this word, disintegratedness.
It exists.
It exists in the Google, Wikipedia or Google? Wikipedia, anything can come. You will say any word is correct. Remember, check. It's not there. Okay, don't just look for dictionaries. Don't look for dictionaries because dictionaries may not necessarily have these words. Ordinary dictionaries.
It exists in the Buddhist context.
Okay, that is how the translators added.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm talking about a very standard usage is there. Don't check the dictionaries. If you check the dictionaries, you will not even find this word soteriology. You will not find this in the dictionary. Huh? Okay, it's fine. Let's not waste the time. Okay, let's not find okay, somebody may check it later, right? Okay, let's say we establish that the later result arises from the state of disintegration, that is a disintegrated action. Additional responses are not mentioned. Moreover, for all systems that assert things to be inherently existent, the state of disintegration is not suitable to be a functional thing. Okay, for all systems that assert things to be inherently existent, the state of disintegration is not suitable to be a functional thing. Okay, so this Vaibhashika, keep it aside. Those who resort to reasonings such as South Tantric School, Chittamatra, Svatana Madhyamika, for them the state of disintegration cannot be a functional phenomenon. Whereas for the Madhyamika system, Prasangika in precise, which asserts that they do not inherently exist, the essential point is that the state of disintegration is established to be a functional thing. Right? Okay, this is what we do know. So finally the answer will be given on the basis of accepting the state of disintegration to be a functional thing. So with this, then the how cause and effect relationship is going to be accounted for. Okay, 161, line 1, the first system, the Chittamatrans and Svatantrika Madhyamikas who assert things to be inherently existent, when a thing such as sprout has disintegrated, okay, let's say a sprout is given rise to, and the sprout disintegrates. All the things that are, okay, now this is extremely important. This passage is extremely important. When a thing such as a sprout has disintegrated, imagine, okay, let's say this sprout, let's say sprout is disintegrated. The first moment is a very beautiful sprout, and the second moment it disintegrates. All the things that are part of the sprout are obliterated. Obliterated meaning removed, is no more there. Same, whatever is with the sprout, the color of the sprout, the shape of the sprout, and all the qualities of the sprout, the next moment the sprout disappears, or is obliterated, or the sprout disintegrates, then all its characteristics are likewise obliterated or removed or erased or gone rid of. For example, say the wall and the wall painting. The wall is the basis and the painting is the characteristic or the attribute of this wall. The moment you break the wall, the painting automatically is gone. Painting on the wall automatically disappears. Okay. Since no other thing that is different from the sprout, such as a pot and so forth, is required. Okay, let's say the sprout or okay, let's say this glass, this mug, for example, say this mug, we release it, and then the very next moment it breaks. So the mug disintegrates. When the mug disintegrates, then the color of the mug, the shape of the mug, all these things will also disappear. The very next moment when the mug disappears, everything of the characteristics of the mug all disappear. Okay, and then during that second moment, when the mug disintegrates, from this mug, right, pen will not come out. Pen, cushion, or whatever, chocolate, and so forth will not come out. Okay, it says that since no other thing that is different from the sprout, such as a pot and so forth, is acquired, that second moment, they assert that the state of disintegration is not at all a functional thing. So what is there? What is really left there? Okay, tell me. When you release the mug and the mug breaks, what is left there? The mug is left? No, it's not disintegrated. Then the color of the mug? No. Then the shape of the mug? No. What's left? The pieces. Nothing, no other new things come out. Only the pieces left. And the pieces are not the state of disintegration. Pieces themselves, just as the mug is what we see as a present moment. Pieces also present moment. Pieces. You're getting it? Pieces. Okay. So with the functional thing, what is really there is the functional thing. Just the pieces, broken pieces are left. These are the functional things. Besides that, there's nothing, there's the functional thing. And then the state of disintegration. It is there. But this is not to be seen as a functional thing. Okay. They assert that the state of disintegration is not at all a functional thing. Right? Because neither the functional things that are in individual spheres, individual objects such as blue, nor the collection of things that is parts such as a pot is a collection of the parts are suitable as illustration of that state of disintegration. So what is that? Okay, tell me. The mug breaks. The second moment, the state of disintegration of the mug is existent or not? Second moment. The mug disintegrated. When the mug disintegrates, then the state of disintegration comes into being. So this state of disintegration exists when? Exists at the time of the mug or the next moment of the mug? Next moment of the mug. So where is this state of disintegration? Where is that? If you look for where that, there's just a pieces, broken pieces there. None of the broken pieces is a state of disintegration. Right? A state of disintegration. You're getting it? So a state of disintegration is not to be found as a functional thing. Okay, this is what the opponents are saying. A suitable illustration of that state of disintegration. It is not a functional thing. Okay, this is the one position. Then the latter system, the Prasanga Madhyamika. Okay, this is a position who accepts that the state of disintegration is not a functional thing. It has nothing to do with the linking the karma and the effects. Now the latter system, Prasangika Madhyamika, how the Prasanga Madhyamika says. Now this part is so important. This part is so important, and this is something so unique. And if you can really understand this very profoundly, say somebody who's to marry, okay, then emptiness is very hopeful. Concept of emptiness is very hopeful. Whereas if this does not become clear, concept of emptiness is far away, right? Okay, how we meditate on emptiness, how we do the meditation emptiness in a very simple way during the Bodhicitta day, which Tibet House we organize, Tibet House organizes, and during the Bodhicitta retreats we use very simple meditation emptiness. So if you don't understand this fully, studying this and you don't understand this fully, then the actual understanding experience emptiness is far away, right? Okay, we can talk about it, but actually experience is far away. So this is so precious, so precious. Okay, let's read. For example, both Upagupta's individual 5 Vedic gates. For example, let's say the Mr. Tashi Mr. Trash's Upagupta is the name of a person. Upagupta's individual 5 aggregates, collection of the aggregates, collection of them, and that which is a different entity from these two, different entity from the Upagupta's aggregates. Okay. Is different entity from these two cannot be posited as an illustration of Upagupta. Okay, what is Upagupta? Upagupta's aggregates are the Upagupta's the body is Upagupta. Answer? No. Okay, the collection of the Upagupta's aggregates is the Upagupta. No. Okay. Once I was giving a talk on emptiness in school, in a Tibetan school, and I said that, where's the table? The top line is not the table, each of the legs of the table is not table. Where's the table? And one girl said, very young girl said that all these parts put together is the table. Right? Okay, this is the answer coming from the young girl. So I need some help from the Narayana Master's course participants. How can we say this collection is not the table? How can we say that? Anyone? Yes, Tenzibiela?
The collection?
Yes, the collection of the parts is not the person.
If the collection of the parts is the table, then
yes.
the collection, which is
Unassembled.
if the assembly is without the table, without us projecting it's a table, if the assembly is outside, then that would be a table. So if the assembly, before we impute it as a table, it would be a table before that.
Why not?
It can't be.
Why not?
Because then it would be a table before we impute it as a table.
Yes, this is the argument. So they said that before imputation it is a table. And Prasanga said that no, it is not table. So the Prasanga has to prove that.
Can't be a table.
No. So how can't be? And I will say yes, it can be. And you will say it can't be.
As in before the assembly.
How it can't be?
Yeshla, before the assembly, before it's assembled, the parts you are saying.
Same, all the parts put together with a special configuration. That is the table.
Have to give me time to think about it.
Anyone? This is the answer given by a very young girl in the school. I so confidently told them there is a table, right? And the girl said that the collection of all these parts together, that is a table, right? So, anyone who can help me? Okay, Rimala.
Kishala, if the entire collection of the parts of the table is the table, then when we subject it to the ultimate analysis and we go down to the atom level, we see the shape intact, we are seeing all the parts, all the atoms there, but we don't see the table there. So the table disappears.
But then why should we have to subject to ultimate analysis? Don't subject to ultimate analysis.
Then the table would be there as a conventional table.
Yes, it is there. So that is the table, the collection is the table.
It is there as a conventional table, not as an ultimate, because we are not denying that it is not a table.
No,
It
this
is
is
a
what
table,
you are
it is a conventionally
saying. So who
existing
said it's
table.
conventional, non-conventional? What I'm saying is that the collection of all the parts, there is a table. I do not say conventional, unconventional. Okay. So, yes, this is Ursula.
Yes, no, I haven't studied it with you, so I don't know. But this is point 6 and 7 of the emptiness of the chariot.
Yes. So this is one of the rejections of Acharya Chandrakritis. Out of the 7, the rejection of the 7 modes, this is one of them. Okay. Okay, if we don't get the answer, then we're going to go further. What do we do now? Yes, Divishla?
If we just look at the collection,
Yes.
then one of the ways would be if we posit collection to be the table, then we can disintegrate all the parts and put them in the heap.
But
That is also a collection.
But this girl is saying that this collection in a special configuration,
If we
special
bring,
configuration, yes.
so if we bring special configuration, which is the shape,
not the shape. Put together that collection. I did not say shape.
I mean, special configuration. You can say, you're not saying it, but it's the shape. Special
No,
configuration.
there's some, they say the special configuration is also a phenomena. Phenomena is
Right.
permanent. You're getting it? It's a special configuration, it's a shape, therefore shape is this. If you say like this, special configuration is a phenomena, phenomenon is permanent. So then the configuration becomes a permanent phenomena.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, like what Kavirila said, that, like in Acharya Charan's rejection of the self using chariot as an example, the seventh one is the shape, which is actually a special configuration.
Yes.
Right. So I'm not suggesting that
No.
all
So
special
this is what this poor girl did not hear about Acharya
Yes,
Chandra.
yes, yes.
She's coming with the natural gift of the answer.
Yeah.
So how would you reject it?
I mean, two ways. What Rima said is also true, that if the shape were to exist as the
Well, if she
table,
don't say shape,
the special
just
configuration.
the special configuration of the parts, collection, that collection
right?
is the table.
If the special configuration of the collection of the parts is the table, then we should be able to find it if we investigate.
Yeah, we found it.
But that's not the ultimate analysis. That's
No, who said ultimate analysis? What is ultimate analysis? I don't know.
ultimate analysis, that if it exists, if you were to explain it to that girl, because it's too technical, going closer to investigate something and finding the way it appears.
Yes, we found the collection. That
Right. But
is the table.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is something which we're going to learn as a part of the selflessness of establishing the selflessness of person. You're getting it? For the time being, let's say that we go closer to this object, right? What we find is the aggregates, individual aggregates are not a person. The collection is also not a person. And then different, remove the aggregates and nothing is left there as a different as a person. So let's say, so this is for timing what it is, right? Okay, let's see. Then don't forget this is a very serious point. Many people, they get stuck at this level. Many people get stuck at this level. Some who are very honest, they get stuck and they say that yes, I get stuck there. And some, they're not aware that they're stuck, they actually get stuck there, right? They're not aware. Okay, so the point is, this is very important, don't forget it. Let's see now. The number 2, the later system, the latter system, the Prasangika Madhyamika, for example, both Upagupta's individual 5 aggregates and the collection of them, and that which is a different entity from these two, cannot be posited as an illustration of Upagupta. And yet, Upagupta is also not suitable, and Upagupta is also not suitable as an illustration of these 3 things. Right? Okay, my aggregates are not me, I'm not my aggregates. Okay. However, it is not contradictory for there to be a functioning thing imputed as Upagupta in dependence on his aggregates. Right? While what you see is the aggregates. What you see is the collection of the aggregates. But aggregates is not the Upagupta. Collection of the aggregates is not Upagupta. Remove the aggregates, nothing is left there, Upagupta there. Yet we can still say that, oh, Upagupta is there, Upagupta is a very kind person, Upagupta, they say the very intelligent person, and so forth. So Upagupta as a person can still be posited to exist on the basis of the imputation with the help of the aggregates, his aggregates. Similarly, although disintegratedness or the state of disintegration is neither an illustration of the functional thing that is being destroyed. For example, say the mug, this mug, the next moment you get the state of disintegration. This state of disintegration, if you look for where this state of disintegration is, then the early moment mug, which next moment is going to be destroyed, that mug is not the example of the illustration of this state of disintegration. Okay. Similarly, although the state of disintegration is neither an illustration of the functional thing, the mug that has been destroyed, no, number 2, nor a functional thing that is similar type to it. Okay, now for example, Jesus Milarepa, the great Saint Jesus Milarepa, his work, the nettle pot, was the only belonging, that possession that he had, and even that at one point it rolled and then it broke, right, and disintegrated. The state of disintegration was created. Then what come out of that? A small pot from inside came out. What pot? The calcified version of the nettle. Nettle boiled. Then there's the stains were left. Stains accumulated one over one. Then it becomes hard. So then it becomes a pot inside. Right? The outside pot broke, and the inside nettle pot came out. Right? So that nettle pot and the original pot, these two are very similar. You're getting it? So by breaking this must break it, and then similar to something of the object similar to this earlier pot would not come. For Jesus Miller, it came, is very special. Otherwise it will not come. So it says function thing that has been destroyed. Number 2, a function thing that is similar type to it, similar type to what was destroyed before. It is a function. While these two are not true, still that state of disintegration is a functional thing, because, okay, this answer, because it is produced in dependence on the functioning thing that is destroyed. You're getting it? So because this state of the disintegration that is produced by the object which was destroyed, that object is the cause, and then when it breaks, then the state of disintegration comes into being. State of disintegration, that is the result of this object which existed before the disintegration. You're getting it? Okay. One example which is given below is that say there's the butter lamp. So the lamp will burn till the oil is there. Till the oil is there, the lamp will keep burning. The moment the oil exhausts, the flame will extinguish. You getting it? The extinguishing of the flame is the result of the exhaustion of the oil. Exhaustion of the oil, disintegration of the oil is the cause of the extinguishing of the flame. You getting it? You agree? So therefore, say the state of disintegration of the oil, that is the cause which results in the state of disintegration of the flame. If I ask you in the conventional sense, say, why did the flame extinguish? Why did it extinguish? Because of the exhaustion of the oil. This is the answer. Because of this, which means that exhaustion of the oil, disintegration of the oil, is the cause for the extinguishing of the flame. You're getting it? Likewise, if this is what happens, then the extinguishing of the flame or the disintegration of the flame is because of the disintegration of the oil. So disintegration, state of disintegration, serves two functions. One as a cause to create another phenomena like disintegration of the flame, and one serves as a result, which is given rise to by another object. Say the state of disintegration of the flame is because of the disintegration of the oil. So the state of disintegration has two functions. So now in the sutra below, which is going to be cited below, so there the death of a person is disintegration of the person. So the death of the person, the Buddha says that it has two functions. One, that it serves as a result. Other, it serves as a cause. Because when the karma ceases, karma responsible for the birth When that comes to exhaustion, then the death comes into being. So the cessation, the disintegration of the karma gives rise to the disintegration of the life. Disintegration of the life is death. So death is a state of disintegration which can be seen as the effect of another cause. And because of this, the death, right? Because of death, then in the 12 links, death comes which link? 12th. Then what is, then because it's a cycle, what is number 1? Ignorance. So death also gives rise to ignorance. So death is cause and the ignorance is the effect. So the death, the state of disintegration of the life, which is also referred to as the death, serves as a cause as well as the effect. So it has two functions. Okay. Okay. In regard, we continue reading in the middle. In regard to proving this, scriptural authority and reasoning are mentioned in clear words. Clear words is Prasanapada by Acharya Chandrakriti, which is a auto commentary. No, which is the commentary on Mula Madhya Karika. Very good. Okay, first the scriptural authority. So, how do we explain? How do we explain that the state of disintegration is impermanent? How do we explain this? So, first scriptural authority and followed by reasoning. What is said in the scripture? Sutra on the 10 grounds. Sutra, in the Buddhist context, sutra means the teachings given by the Buddha. Sutra. Due to the conditions of birth, there is aging and death. Due to condition birth. Where there is birth, aging and death invariably arises. So the question was asked to the Buddha. Okay, where there is birth, is it necessary to have a death? The Buddha says yes. Where there is a death, is it necessary to have a birth? Buddha said no. Right? So there, where there is a birth, there's invariably the death happening. So birth gives rise to the death. Death means the disintegration of the life. Okay, due to condition of birth, there is aging and death. And the birth is what? Of the 12 links, the birth is 11. Right? 11. So what we do is that, say these things, the 12 links, wheel of life, they are not explicitly stated. When you read this from there, you should be able to connect this to the larger picture. What is it behind? The picture behind. So in fact, the 12 links, they're all being brought in there, although not specifically being mentioned. From the 12 links, the birth, 11, the birth gives rise to 12. That is aging and death. Okay. Death is the disintegration of the sentient beings who dies. It is produced by the condition of birth. In addition, the Sutra on the 10 grounds says, death also subsists in two activities, meaning that death has two functions or two actions, two activities. One, it functions to destroy compounded phenomena. It functions to destroy compounded phenomena, which means that, okay, the life that is being, okay, why there's no life now? Because of death. So death, we say that this is what causes which destroys the life, which the compounded phenomena. Okay. And number 2, it also issues for the cause, for the non-severance of the continuum of thorough unknowing. Okay, this is a little technical. Don't worry, it's not technical actually. So this is a translation and the language thing. Okay, meaning that ignorance, 12 links, is a cycle. It is endless. So the 12th will invariably give rise to unknowing. What is unknowing? Ignorance. Unknowing. Thorough unknowing meaning perfect ignorance. Right? Ignorance. Absolute ignorance. Okay, ignorance, in other words, ignorance. Non-severance meaning non-discontinuation of the continuum of ignorance. Okay, so one, the death destroys the compounded phenomena. Why don't we see the person now? Because the person died, right? So death destroys that. For example, say, okay, I cannot live for 200 years. Why not? Because the death will destroy my existence. You're getting it? Okay. So the one thing is that people can be looking at this concept from the lower school's point of view. You're getting it? Lower school Sautrantika point of view. Death of the object, death comes later, not first. You're getting it? Compounded phenomena first, then the death. So which means that death cannot be the cause. Cannot be the cause. Cause should always precede. You're getting it? Okay. But in the conventional sense, do we say that, oh, the person is now, our neighbor is no more there because he died? Do we give this answer? In the conventions. And the Prasangika, the beauty of the Prasangika is that it's simply beyond convention, nothing's there. Beyond convention, nothing is there. So convention, if something is there, it is just on the convention. So therefore convention is so important. Convention is so important because beyond convention, nothing is there. If you really want to value the existence, value of law of karma, value the triple gem, value dharma practice, it is all just such a value. Nothing really exists beyond convention. It's just the conventions. Respect the conventions, because this is the only thing that exists, right? Okay, so this talk, they say the why it's not now, because it died. The person died, right? So this is where say the why it is not there meaning how that is destroyed, because of death. So the death destroys the compounded phenomena. Death destroys the life. Okay, they say think of more in the conventional sense. Number two, then with this death, with the 12 links of dependent origination, right? With that 12, okay, say what is this? What is this? The 12, the wheel of life, the demon signifies what? Impermanence of death. Impermanence of death, right? Impermanence of death meaning the death. So with this demon, what impression do we get? What we early had will all be consumed and destroyed by this death. What we early had, they're going to be destroyed by this demon, right? As long as you're in the fangs of the demon, the death invariably arises. So the demon will destroy everything. Demon within us will destroy everything. So this demon, symbolizing the death, is the one which destroys all good things that we early had. So this is how we conventionally understand it. So in Prasangika, convention plays a very important role. We have to respect it so much, right? Okay, don't forget it. One. Number two, then with the 12 links, we see the outer 12. This is a circle. This is an endless circle. Samsara means the cyclic existence. It's a cyclic. So how cyclic? With the death, then everything finishes. No. There's the end. No. Then again, the cycle is there. The link one, ignorance, arises. Okay. Whereas for those who have not studied the 12 links of dependent origination well, the wheel of life well, then when we say this can give up say wrong information, right? It is not that you wait till the death comes, then the ignorance starts. No. This ignorance, from what we've learned in detail, this ignorance comes when? Any time, right? Any time this ignorance comes, anytime, for example now, at this very moment, ignorance can come. When we sleep, ignorance can come. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, ignorance can come. So when you are in the mother's womb, ignorance can arise. When you are on the verge to die, ignorance can come. It can come anytime. The moment this ignorance comes, then this will accumulate karma. Then, in fact, the new cycle is created. You getting it? So the death, this death indicates the end of one cycle, and the ignorance indicates the start of a new cycle, right? And these cycles, they are not like one cycle finishes, then the next cycle starts. No. As the one cycle is, before the one cycle completes, there are so many new cycles already created in the process before the one cycle completes. So the death indicates the completion of one cycle, and the birth indicates the beginning of a new cycle. So the point is that with the death, things finish. No. That the cycles are continuously, this beginning is always they created every time. Okay. So this ignorance, we see that it is seen as the beginning of a new cycle, and which is linked with the earlier cycle which was going to end with the death. Okay. Now the author's commentary, which reads, death is said to perform two activities, in that it is the death is produced by cause. Again, the death. One, the death produced by cause means death has an effect. Death as an effect. As an effect. And that death produces ignorance. Death as a cause. Which means if the death is seen as the effect and also seen as a cause, death should be impermanent phenomena. So death is nothing but the state of disintegration of the life. So a state of disintegration of life is the impermanent phenomenon. It's a functional thing. So this is what Prasanga is going to is proving. Therefore, this state of disintegration has a cause that produces it, and the state of disintegration is able to produce a result. Although the state of disintegration is the disintegration of a continuum, it is also similar to the disintegration of a first moment at the second moment. Okay, so let's say we talk about let's talk about the death. Death. Okay, death is a discontinuation of continuum. What do you mean by what continuum? What continuum? Continuum of a life. Okay, somebody lived for say 60 years, 80 years, 90 years, or 100 years, right? So whatever number of years one lives, that is the continuum of that life. So this continuum will end with death. Okay, so that is with the continuum. Okay, now we are talking about the disintegratedness. Death is one of the state of disintegration. Death is one illustration of the state of disintegration. And state of disintegration need not necessarily be happening only at the end of the continuum of a larger continuum. No, not necessary. Say this flower. Let's say this flower. This flower stays like this for, let's say, 10 years. This is a plastic flower. Let's say that if we take care of this, it will stay for 10 years, right? And then after 10 years, then somehow it breaks into pieces. Okay, it's gone. So then the state of disintegration of this flower come into being. Then 2018 October, today is 4th. The flower of the flower of the 4th of October of 2018 will disintegrate tomorrow. What? 5th of October 2018. It will disintegrate tomorrow, right? You getting it? The continuum of this flower will not disintegrate tomorrow, but the flower, precisely today's flower, which exists only today, this flower will disintegrate tomorrow. Although the continuum of this flower for 10 years will continue to be there, but this flower today is the first moment, tomorrow is the second moment. So this today's flower, first moment of today's flower will disintegrate into tomorrow's tomorrow's second moment, tomorrow. Okay, so although the flower, continual flower does not disintegrate, but the flower of today disintegrates tomorrow. You getting it? Okay. So what we apply, death is the discontinuation of a whole life. Within the whole life, somebody lives for 80 years. Say first year, second year, third year. First year, the person disintegrates in the second year, and second year disintegrates third year. But as a person, as the life of the person will continue, will not disintegrate till 100th year, till the death. Okay, so what we apply to the death, you apply to all the other state of disintegration. This is the point. So you apply this to karma also, disintegratedness or the state of disintegration of the karma. You apply this to the karma also. Okay, so what it says here is that although this in the middle of the third last paragraph, although the state of disintegration is the disintegration of a continuum, what we talked here when pertaining to death continuum, it is also similar to the disintegration of the first moment and second moment. However, it is also indicated, okay, now slight change in the translation. Again, there's a nuance here. This nuance is missing here with this translation. It is also indicated, okay, that the first moment is that. It is also indicated that the first moment is, okay, delete these two words, to be. Delete these two words, to be. Delete these two. It is also indicated that the first moment is the cause for the disintegration, and then delete of our first moment. Delete that. Okay, let me say this again. It is also, however, it is also indicated that that the first moment is then delete the two words, to be. Delete these two. That the first moment is the cause for the disintegration. It is there. Again, delete the next the next words of our first moment. Delete all these 4 words of our first moment. Delete that. Disintegration at the second moment. Okay, this nuance is missing. What do you find in the root? Can you
just give the sentence? I'll just write it.
Okay. Yes. However, it is also indicated that the first moment, it is also indicated that the first moment is the cause.
The first moment is
the cause for the disintegration.
State of disintegration of the second.
We have to ask Lama Tsongkhapa, right? We cannot say it on our own. It is his thoughts, we should not alter his thoughts. Okay. Okay. That the first moment is the cause for the disintegration at the second moment. Of the second moment. Terrible. Okay, let me say this again. However, it is also indicated that the first moment is the cause for the disintegration at the second moment.
For the disintegration at the second.
Yes. Okay, so this, what I would say is the correct translation, and if you have any issue, check with Lama Tsongkhapa, not me. Check the author, right? If you have any issue. Okay, so now the point, what it says is that, however, it's also indicated that the first moment, let's say, that is, let's say, the sound of a clap, the sound, it exists for like say the, just two seconds, not even 2 seconds, 2 milliseconds, 2 milliseconds, right? The first millisecond sound disintegrates at the second moment. What is second moment? Second moment of the sound. You're getting it? Okay. So during the second moment of the sound, the state of disintegration of the first moment was created. State of disintegration of the first moment was created at which moment? Second moment. So this state of disintegration of the first moment at the second moment is created by which cause? First moment of the sound itself. So first moment of sound is the cause for the state of disintegration of the first moment at which exists at the time of the second moment. You're getting it? This is meaning. Which means that the point that from this what we're learning is that the state of disintegration of the first moment is the result, because this is produced by the first moment. State of disintegration of the first moment at the time of the second moment, that is produced by the first moment of the sound. So because it is produced by the first moment of the sound as its cause, the state of disintegration of the first moment at the time of the second moment, that is the effect. That's the result. Because it is a result, it should be impermanent phenomena. If it is impermanent phenomena, it is a functional thing. If it's a functional thing, it has the capacity to function. It's the capacity to transmit this potential of the karmic potential to the future lives. You getting it? Okay. Okay. Yes, Antonelli. The mic. No, because the people are.
It's not a question.
Whatever is the case, there's a tremendous distance.
So I just found out that this word is integratedness. There are many examples of its usage in this very context by different authors in the English language as the link between karma and the result. So it is used in many books. So I suppose it's good to use it. I mean, that's up to you. And also, however, in science, in the context of chemicals disintegrating and something else happening. So maybe it doesn't exist. I haven't found it in the dictionaries, but by usage, it exists. So since I'm the one who said it doesn't exist, well, let's say it exists.
Okay, so
conventionally, ultimately, it doesn't exist.
So the best is somewhere in the native English, somewhere, whether it's philosophy, science, literature, language, wherever, somewhere, if it is used not in the Buddhist context. If it is in Buddhist context, automatically the people just add it.
In science it is.
The point is no, disintegration is fine. Disintegrating is fine.
I'm talking about disintegratedness.
In science is it used?
Yes, there is some example in science.
Perfect, then we can apply this.
And as I said, in many Buddhist contexts.
No,
I mean, not
context.
many, the same context in many Buddhist
context, don't worry, right?
Okay.
So what is important is in a culture which evolved in West, because English is the language of West.
So
Culture, broader culture or a tradition which was born in the West, like modern science.
Yeah.
Not all modern science, but generally speaking, the science, modern science. Let's say, if in that context, if this word is used, we can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And particularly if Shakespeare used it, that's even better. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Tejala.
just a small clarification. If we say that all compounded phenomena undergo arising, abiding, and disintegration every moment, so this sound of the clap, the first moment also has a disintegration.
Yes.
And so we are saying that is giving rise to the second moment of the disintegratedness.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
second moment is a result of the disease.
The second moment is the result of the first moment. The second moment is the result of the first moment, no doubt. This disintegratedness, now we can freely use this word disintegratedness. Disintegratedness of the first moment, which arises at the time of the second moment, is the result of the first moment. Is the result of the first moment. The first moment is the cause of the state of disintegratedness of the.
The first
The-
moment is the sound of the clap. That is not the disintegrated.
A sound of a clap.
I have breathlessness.
Sound of a clap. Sound of a clap. I said that it lasts. Let's say this sound of a clap lasts for 2 moments. First moment of the sound of a clap. Second moment of the sound of a clap. Right. So the first moment of the sound of a clap disintegrates the moment the second moment of the sound of a clap arises. So second moment of the sound of a clap arises, simultaneously the disintegratedness of the first moment arises. So disintegratedness of the first moment and the second moment, these two arise simultaneously. So these two are both caused by the first moment. Right? Okay, good. Yes, Angela? Mike?
Occasional things at the second moment of the sound of the clap and the disintegratedness of the first moment of the sound. The disintegratedness of the first moment of the sound of the clap.
Disintegratedness of the
First
moment of the sound, yes.
They exist together.
Yes.
They are entity-wise one.
Oh, interesting. Okay, now the Nalanda Masters course participants, you have to help me. Say the first moment of the sound, second moment of the sound. At the time of the second moment of the sound, say second moment of the sound arises. Simultaneously, the disintegratedness of the first moment of the sound also arises. So these two things, second moment of the sound and the disintegratedness of the first moment of the sound, these two arise simultaneously. If these two arise simultaneously, then the question arises whether or not these two are same entity or different entities. Different entities. Anyone else? Any other idea? Same entity. Any third option? Half? Different entities. Okay.
Actions are simultaneous. The actions are simultaneous, but the moments are different.
No, say it again.
The actions of arising and disintegration are simultaneous.
The action of the arising action, there are two actions happening during the second moment. Action of arising of the second moment and action of the arising of the disintegration of the first moment. These two simultaneous. So these two are there, not the two actions, but what arose. The second moment of the sound of clap and the disintegration of the first moment of the sound of clap. Are these two same entities, same entity or different entities?
Same.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Isolate by say.
Isolate-wise different, entity-wise different, entity-wise same. This is what Madhuji you want to say? Then?
I'm saying the entity-wise different.
Then no, you should be. They can never be something which is entity-wise different, isolated-wise same. It's the opposite. Entity-wise can be same and isolated can be different. Never ever. Even the Buddha did not find anything which is entity-wise different, isolated-wise one. Never. It should be always other way around. If there is something of this kind, it should be other way around. Entity-wise same, but isolated-wise different. Right? Okay, I'm not going to give the answer now. Right? This is a very good question. So the answer, if I give either, it should be something very standard there in the text or somewhere, right? Otherwise, my thoughts I'm not going to mix with the very standard, the class which is going now. You getting it? This is, huh?
Can we hear the question again?
The question is that the sound, let's say the sound of clap, which exists for 2 milliseconds. First millisecond sound, second millisecond sound. There are 2 moments of the sounds. So 2 moments of the sound. During the second moment of the sound arose, and the disintegratedness of the first moment of the sound also arose. These 2 arose simultaneously.
In the second moment of the sound arose post the disintegration of the first moment.
Post
the disintegration of the first moment.
Okay, then the first moment of the sound, and then disintegration of the sound. First moment of the sound, and then the second moment of the sound. Is this what it's saying?
The arising is of the second moment is after the disintegration of the first moment.
Okay, which means that the first moment of the sound, this is the first moment. Second moment is the disintegration of the first moment. Then the third moment is the second moment of the sound. Is this what you're saying?
No.
Okay, is there a gap between the first moment and second moment of the sound? If there's no gap, then the disintegratedness of the first moment is the result of the first moment of the sound. Which means that what comes immediately after the first moment of the sound, the 2 should be simultaneous. Second moment of the sound is immediately after the first moment of the sound, and the disintegration of the first moment of the sound is also immediately after the first moment of the sound. So these 2 things should be simultaneous naturally. If these 2 are simultaneous, these 2 things are the same entity or different entities? This is the question.
This would apply then to all causality again, to all cause and effect.
All. Okay, so the
Question?
yes. Okay, at the mic.
If we're talking of 2 milliseconds,
Yes.
then that means one is after the first,
Yes.
which means that it is a result produced.
Yes, the second
Second is
is
produced
the
from
second
the
is
first.
produced from the first. Yes.
They're not simultaneous because it's 1, 2.
Okay, so
Even though it's small.
we're not talking about the first moment, second moment. We're talking about something else. We are talking about the second moment and not the first moment.
So the second one is produced by the first.
That's true. That we agree.
Yeah.
Now we are going to a different discussion. The different discussion is we're not bringing these 2 things, second moment and the
But
first moment.
entity-wise,
No. First we have to know the discussion. The discussion is we're talking about not the second moment and the first moment. We're talking about the disintegratedness of the first moment and the second moment.
and those are the same,
So these 2 arise simultaneously.
simultaneous.
So are these 2 entity-wise one or entity-wise different? This is the
They're the
question.
same.
You want to say these 2 entity-wise one? This is what you want to say?
50-50
Okay.
chance, I say.
Okay, so the point is that I'll not give the answer now. Later on, if you want, we can have the answer. But for sure now, not now. But the question is very good. Question is very good. Keep that in mind. Okay. Yes, Mike.
This is related to Dejan's. So this arising, abiding, disintegrating and ceasing in the first moment. So now we are talking in that context, that ceasing is different from the second understanding of the state of disintegration as the discontinuation of a continuum. That ceasing refers just to the ceasing of the first moment of sound. Here we are just picking up the whole thread of disintegration amongst these 4 things, Geshe.
Arising, abiding.
Disintegrating and ceasing.
Wow. Okay. arising, abiding, and ceasing. Let's say ceasing and disintegration. We will continue. We will treat them as same. Arising, abiding, and ceasing. Okay, how many of you think that these three are sequential? Arising, abiding, and ceasing. How many of you think that these three are simultaneous? Presents. How many think that these three are sequential? Because with the flow, you know, arising, first arise, then it is abide, then disintegrate. Okay, arising, abiding, and ceasing. How many of you think that they are simultaneous? Okay, these two are simultaneous according to Prasangika. But how we say arising, abiding, and ceasing is so like this. These three things are happening sequentially. This is according to Vaibhashika presentation. This is not according to other schools. All other schools agree that these three things happen simultaneously. Okay. Okay, now continue. Let's continue reading this. Hence, the two, the birth and death of a sentient being, number one, not remaining for a second moment, not having remained for a second moment, or disintegration, act of disintegration of the second moment. No, disintegration towards the second moment, disintegration first moment towards the second moment, and then disintegratedness at the time of the second moment. They are okay. Now a little bit of the translation change, translation, the modification are similar in being. Posited. Delete this. Just underline this. Delete this. Posited. Instead of that, similar in being. Whether or not they are, then there are several things to be deleted. Posited and not posited as. Delete this. Posited and not posited as. Delete this. Instead, add are similar in being whether or not they are functioning things, and in being produced by a cause. Delete and not produced by. And not produced. Okay, now what you do is read both ways. Read original version, the translator's version, and read the second version. Read it and see, you know, if for you there's a difference. If there's no difference, keep the original one. If there's difference, then keep the changed version. If there's okay, let me repeat this. Okay, are similar meaning the first two, 1, 2, 3. They are similar in being whether or not they are, and then delete these 4 words, posited and not posited. These words delete. These 4 words, don't delete permanently, just mark them lightly. Similar in being whether or not they are functioning things, and in being produced by a cause. By a cause. Okay. Going back home, not now. Going back home, read both ways. Read both ways. And if you see that both ways don't make sense, then there's no choice. Right? You have to wait till maybe after 10 years, we'll look for another translator. Right? Okay. So the point is that these 3 things, what are the 3 things? Birth and death of a sentient being, right? Birth and death of a sentient being is a functional thing as well as produced by a cause. Not remaining for a second moment is also a function thing and produced by a cause. not having remained meaning the disintegratedness at the time of the second moment is also a functional thing as well as produced by cause. This is what we should know. If you know this, you've understood this. You're getting it? Good. Intending this, fundamental wisdom says things and non-things are compounded phenomena. Things, for example, the flower. Non-things meaning the disintegratedness of the flower. Both are equally compounded phenomena. Compounded phenomena meaning functional things or impermanent phenomena. Ara Nagarjuna's 60 stanzas of reasoning also says pacification through the very exhaustion of the cause is observed to be called the exhaustion. Okay, meaning pacification through the very exhaustion of the cause. The cause, exhaustion of the fuel, exhaustion of the oil will give rise to the exhaustion of the flame, right? Pacification through the very exhaustion of the cause. Say the samsara, given rise to by this self-grasping ignorance as a cause. Exhaust the self-grasping ignorance as a cause. Exhaust the cause, which is self-grasping ignorance, will give rise to the pacification. So pacification is what? The cessation of suffering. So cessation of suffering to be the result of the exhaustion of the cause, self-grasping ignorance. You're getting it? Okay. Now, so this is, first you try to understand this. Don't go too much into detail or pacification. We'll learn about the third seal, the third word, the third noble truth, which is the nirvana, which is the permanent phenomena. So this is impermanent phenomena. Don't worry too much about this. Idea that we need to get from this, new insight that we should be getting from this is that, okay, they may not necessarily be something like a tangible object, like atoms or like the segments of the mind, for something to be impermanent. Even the state of disintegratedness, which is not something tangible, still it is impermanent. If this is what you get out of this reading, then we go into the details, we go into the nuances, right? Say the pacification, say the in terms of say the pacification of your afflictions, pacification of afflictions, same afflictions, disintegratedness of the afflictions. Disintegratedness of the afflictions can be twofold. One is whether you put effort or not effort, actually afflictions will continue to disintegrate. So the second moment, the disintegratedness of the first moment automatically arises. This is one. And then by putting effort, right? Say the last moment of the affliction, whether you put effort or not, the disintegratedness will come. Last moment of the affliction. Even that is also impermanent. Impermanent means the next moment, the disintegratedness, whether you put effort or not, the disintegratedness of this will come. The next moment, there are two disintegratedness. One is the disintegratedness happening because of being impermanent, it disintegrates. One, by the effort, it stops, it's continuing altogether. You getting it? Affliction, no more afflictions arise. Whereas in our case, the affliction, today 2018 affliction will disintegrate, will disappear. Don't worry. You don't have to put effort. How many of you are fed up with the miseries of 2018? Biala? Okay, so don't worry. 2019 arises, automatically will come to an end. But this is not the end of the continuum of the suffering, right? So 2018 one disintegrates, but suffering per se will continue. Suffering 2018 disintegrates, but the suffering of the suffering in general, mind suffering, not specified as 2018 mind suffering. Suffering of mind suffering will continue. So this is disintegratedness, right? So in our case, the same 2018 last moment of the suffering, last moment of the affliction of 2018, the moment 1st January 2019 arises, 2018 afflictions stop. Right? We don't have to worry. We don't have to put effort, automatically stop. But the next moment, affliction of 2019 arises. You're getting it? But in the case of arahats, in the case of bodhisattvas, Bhumi 8, last mode of affliction, right? Say it disintegrates. We can think of that disintegration in two ways. One, because it is impermanent, that very next moment disintegratedness automatically arises. One. Number two, because of the force of the remedies, the disintegratedness arise in the context that the affliction does not arise. You're getting it? So the disintegratedness of the afflictions in the case of the arahats, that can be thought of in two ways. One, in the context of earlier affliction to be disintegrated, being impermanent, will be disintegrated because of being impermanent. Number two, by the force of the remedy, by the force of the antidotes, the disintegration is created the next moment when the person becomes arahat, in the context that no future afflictions will connect to this previous affliction. So there are two connotations. Okay, of the two connotations, the second one is the nirvana. The first one is not. Okay. Page 162. Since these citations say that both the thing that is proud and so forth and the non-thing that is its disintegratedness are compounded phenomena. In other words, the sprout and the thing and non-thing, both are compounded phenomena. Thing referring to the flower, non-thing referring to the disintegratedness of the flower, karma as the thing, and the disintegratedness of the karma as the non-thing. Non-thing, both are compounded phenomena. Okay. So for the non-thing, that is its disintegratedness, are compounded phenomena. Number two, that exhaustion of a cause, such as oil and so forth, is the cause of the extinguishment of a result, such as a lamp, such as light and so forth. These are to be unquestionably asserted to be the assertions of Aranyagārjuna. So this, in other words, the state of disintegratedness to be impermanent phenomena, this is the unquestionable position of Aranyagārjuna, undoubtedly the position of Aranyagārjuna, from what we read from Aranyagārjuna's two texts, Fundamental Wisdom of the Middle Way and the 60 stanzas of the reasoning. Okay, we'll stop here, and we will first one or two questions from here, then we will read one or two questions from the written questions. Okay. Yes, Pranshuji?
What is Tibetan term for disintegration?
Shikpa.
Why is it?
Okay, we can write S-H-I-G-P-A, Shikpa. S-H-I-G-P-A, Shikpa. Okay, and Nareshi, yes.
Can the exhaustion of the oil, the exhaustion of light, no, perhaps this is not the right example. So is the first moment of disintegratedness, let's say of karma?
Yes.
Of karma.
Yes.
Is it the cause of the second moment of disintegratedness of the karma?
Very good question. Okay, this is a very good question. Okay, let's see. First moment of karma. Okay, let's say 5 moments of karma. First moment, second moment, third moment, fourth, 5. First moment of karma disintegrates, and the second disintegrates, and second moment comes into being. So likewise, third, fourth, fifth. First moment of the karma disintegrates, second moment of the karma arises. Simultaneously, the disintegratedness of the first moment of the karma arises. 2. Now, this second moment of the karma is responsible for giving rise to the third moment of the karma. Simultaneously, the disintegratedness of the second moment of karma also arises. Two things. Now, during the second moment of the karma is the cause for the third moment of the karma, as well as the disintegratedness of the second moment of the karma. While the second moment of the karma is responsible for giving rise to these two things, right? Second moment of karma and the disintegratedness of first moment of karma, these were simultaneous. So disintegratedness of first moment of karma is also the cause for the second moment, disintegratedness of the second moment, as well as the third moment. Answer is yes. Yes. So the disintegratedness of the first moment of the karma is the cause of the disintegratedness of the second moment of the karma, and also the third moment of the karma. Yes, Tinsi.
Why are we not using it as a verb?
Which one?
Disintegrate. Why are we using the noun here?
Because we speak about okay. Okay, let's say what disintegrates. What disintegrates? We talk of an agent.
Talk of an
agent.
Agent, yes.
An agent that disintegrates. Likewise, when we say that whether something is impermanent or not, whether something is impermanent or not, we are talking about, we are talking for an agent, which is responsible for connecting the two.
Right.
The karma and the effect. We are looking for the agent which connects the two. So that agent in the context of the agent is in the context of the noun. So the person, Adivijam, and so forth in the form of the noun. So the action, who does the action? Verb, who is involved? Who does this verb? So therefore it is always in the form of noun. Yeah.
Okay, so you're distinguishing between the action and the agent.
Yes, yes, yes.
Just a follow-on question from Nareshji. So because when you think of disintegratedness as an English term, it comes to mind as an abstract concept as well.
It's a very abstract concept, yes. So therefore we have to follow the convention.
So
don't follow something tangible there, right? Yes, it's abstract.
But then in the relation, then we are saying it's an impermanent phenomena. So then this is the answer. Because of it's put in a noun form because it's in a particular context.
Yes.
That we use it.
Yeah. Yes.
This is Krishna, 20th September, that's 20th October class. This was the past Swatantrika Madhyamika and
20th October. Maybe last year. Last year or
20
future?
September.
Huh?
20
20 September, okay.
This was about Swatantrika Madhyamika and Prasangika, that both schools do not accept conventional truth ultimately.
Okay, yes.
In both school, conventional truth does not exist in the ultimate analysis. For
Yes, yes.
So for Prasangika, if things were objectively existent, then they would be findable.
For Prasangika, if something is objectively existent, it should be findable through ultimate analysis.
And with Swatantrika Madhyamika, because things exist inherently, objectively, on the conventional domain, that does not mean it is refuted in the ultimate domain according to the Prasangika's ultimate analysis. So ultimate analysis is different than in both.
Different.
So
Ultimate analysis is different. So what Swatantrika Madhyamika considers as ultimate analysis is not at all ultimate analysis from the point of view of Prasangika. Yes.
So the third point is then for Swatantrika Madhyamika, because things conceptually, things appear falsely, truly existent. And for them the ultimate analysis is that you see the emptiness of true existence, that things are not 100% from the object, partly from the object and partly from the mind included.
Yes,
as such
yes,
and
yes,
such.
yes.
So for them, that is the ultimate analysis.
Very good. To see whether the object exists 100% from the object. So this analysis is the ultimate analysis.
So that's partly from the mind and partly from
Which
the
means, so why we have to say 100% of the object means that things do exist objectively, but not 100% from the object, partly from the mind.
That is the ultimate analysis.
Okay,
That is
we should be very
ultimate
precise. When we say partly from the mind, then instead what we have to say, analyzing if something exists 100% of the object, analysis which analyzes if the object exists 100% objectively. That is ultimate analysis.
And the second point is Chitamatra do not accept, because this is what you discussed in the same class. They don't accept external reality, and Madhyamikas, you were talking about the atoms.
Yes, yes.
Because Chitamatras do not, and Yogacara.
Chitamatras do not accept external reality.
So for Madhyamikas, because the atoms, that is a cause for the consciousness. That is the cause for the consciousness. I mean, that is how things exist. So that is external reality for
Madhyamika. Yes.
And so even for Swatantrika Madhyamika.
Swatantra Madhyamika, there are two. Yogacara Swatantra Madhyamika and Sautantra Swatantra Madhyamika. For them, yes.
So because they believe in external reality.
Yes.
I'm talking about Prasangika. And that is how the subject and object happens.
Yes,
Subject
yes.
views the object.
Yes.
So, so the atoms exist on the conventional level, but they don't exist on the ultimate level.
Yes. From the point of view of Prasangika and Sautantrika, Swatantra Madhyamika. Now the point is, the atoms, do they, the Chittamatra, do they accept atoms? Okay, so this is a big discussion. It's a huge discussion whether or not Chittamatra, likewise the Yogacara Swatantra Madhyamika, whether or not these two schools accept atoms. So the scholars differ in their views.
But they don't believe in external reality.
Yes, you are right. They don't. So some say that if one does not accept the external reality, how can he possibly believe in atoms? So, because of which some say that according to Chittamatra philosophy or the Yogacara Swatantra Madhyamika, there is no atoms, there is no particles. And then the other group says that, what's the problem? There is no partless particles. If there's external reality should be established, should be created by the partless particles. Particles are there, they are never partless. So what's the problem in accepting particles or atoms? This is what the end of the group says. So therefore this is where they go into divergence. And for us, it's very good. Don't be, don't just tilt yourself towards one part. Try to understand both. Understand both. What makes the both sides accept their position, and what is their strength, or what is their support reasons that we have to analyze.
And Kesha, there's something another student and I were working on. If things, I'm talking about Prasangika, according to reality, if things were objectively existent, wouldn't we know that conventionally? We would know that conventionally if they were objectively
real. If something objectively real, can we conventionally know this? Okay, so then this is more like a hypothesis from Prasangika point of view. If we say if something exists objectively, so we have to hypothetically, what is that? Hypothetically, we have to presuppose that if the flower does exist objectively, then anything can happen. If the flower does exist from Prasangika point of view, if the flower does exist objectively, then the conventionally you should be able to see that. Non-conventionally you should be able to see that from both ways, if it does exist objectively.
Thank you.
Yes, Antonella ji.
So I have a double question. One is that when we examine moment by moment this process of disintegration,
yes,
which how do you say, which includes a lot of disintegratednesses,
many, yes,
along the way.
Yes.
Then it looks like there is a continuous process of disintegration. So the continuum is still there. That is one side of the question. The other side of the question is, if we look at this process from an ultimate point of view, such as that we begin with the emptiness of the seed and we end up with the emptiness of the sprout. Correct? Now, the in-between moments of disintegratedness, are they a different percentage mixture of emptinesses, or up to the moment before the result is still the emptiness of the seed?
Okay, the emptiness of the seed and the seed and the emptiness of the seed, these two should be simultaneous. Yes. So the moment the seed disintegrates, emptiness of the seed also disappears. Emptiness of the seed does not continue, right?
Then don't you have the emptiness of the disintegratedness of the third moment, and that of the fourth moment, and that of the fifth moment?
Okay, so what we need to know is emptiness, the seed, and the emptiness of the seed. In other words, emptiness and whatever object whose emptiness we are talking about.
Yes.
These two are always simultaneous, right? Then say the object, the basis of what we're discussing of the emptiness, basis of that, say the seed,
right,
or the disintegratedness of the seed,
yes,
or the disintegratedness of the disintegratedness of the seed, right? So read about that. Every time a new phenomena arises, the emptiness of that new phenomena also simultaneously exists.
So that means to say that the process continues at both levels,
at infinitum,
all the way to life.
All the way at infinitum.
And in the end, if we maybe we are doing it next class, no? As we approach the result, how the movements follow each other, we will study afterwards. No?
Okay, so basically the point is that it is like okay, interesting. Say in Singapore, you want to buy a house. Oh, this very beautiful house, right? Beautiful house. Oh, is it on sale? Yes, it is on sale. The first question they will ask, it is not confined to Singapore, it is with everywhere. So this is what I sense, the living experience I had there. The first thing they ask is, okay, how many years lease now? How many years of lease left? 20 years? What's the point? Right? 20, or 10 years left now? 10 years left? And then even though it's a beautiful house, after 10 years, you have to give it back, rather pay rent, right? And then all these headaches, money, expenses, all will not be there. So the point is that as time lapses, this house having the potential to keep the person in there, as the time lapses, it disintegrates. Okay, likewise, the point is that with it is not 100% the same with all the examples we would give. Say let's say the diamond mug. Diamond mug is extraordinary, and then accidentally it falls from your hand, and then it breaks into pieces. But the pieces of diamonds, right? Pieces are diamonds. So although it disintegrates, and something what is left there is still very precious. And again, even this piece, again it breaks further, again still is diamond. Don't throw them like the broken piece of glasses. Glasses will be dumped, but diamonds don't throw them, they're still diamond. And then slowly, gradually you keep going like this, then it breaks into carbon. No point. The moment says diamonds are made of carbons. The moment it breaks into the carbon pieces, no point of picking them up. Carbon piece which made the diamond and the carbon piece which made the charcoal, these two are same, no difference. Right? Don't stop picking them up when you reach that level. Likewise, the karma leaves the disintegratedness. So this disintegratedness have the same potential to give rise to the effect as that karma. So this disintegratedness will give rise to the disintegratedness of the disintegratedness. This also have the same potential unless the potential is used. It will keep going. And then the last moment before the effect is given rise to, right? When the effect, the next birth arises after millions of years, the birth arises because of this, the initial karma, effect arises, then the disintegratedness of the last moment of this disintegratedness before the effect, that is created along with the effect. So this disintegratedness there, in terms of being a disintegratedness, it is there, but the potential, it does not have that potential. It does not have the potential. Say like the diamond cup breaks and still diamond, again breaks, still diamond, right? Say in terms of the substance there's always a substance there. There's always there as a substance. And finally, what substance is left? Carbon is left. Carbon atoms are left, right? So there, then the value as a diamond, something which is so valuable, it disappears. That disappears. When the effect is given rise to, then the process of disintegratedness, having the potential, that is lost.
So you're talking about the exhaustion of
Yes, the moment the effect is given rise to, then the exhaustion of the karma happens. So at that point, the disintegratedness is there, but that disintegratedness does not have the same potential to give rise to the effect as much as the disintegratedness of the karma way before giving rise to the effect. Yes.
Sorry, are you talking just about positive karma or what?
Positive, negative, all. Yes, Pujala.
The last, for example, as we learned that the last moment of disintegratedness, it itself has the capacity to give rise to result.
Yes, of course.
It itself ripens into the karmic result. That's fine. Then Prasangika, do they talk about karmic imprints?
Okay, the answer is yes. Say, does Prasangika talk about the karmic imprints of the karma? Don't just say, okay, karmic imprints of the karma leaving the imprints. Yes, imprints are left. Huh? So what is the nature of that imprint and so forth? These are exactly identical as explained by the lower schools. Deepeshla?
Gishla, like from Prasangika's tenets perspective, physical and verbal karma is form. So I'm just giving an example, if you can explain, like say first moment, person does generosity, so that's physical karma, which will be in second moment, first moment there's an intention to give the karma, intention to do the generosity, second moment the generosity act is done. Third moment, just for example, say the person passes away, dies.
Okay.
So can you explain, like from disintegratedness point of view, Because disintegratedness, it's a affirming negative. It's a functioning thing, has to have a basis.
Yes.
So in case of a physical form, like obviously, the mind will carry the imprints and the content of the mind is there. We can connect that, but I'm trying to understand the act of generosity, which is a physical form, also has disintegratedness. Somebody passing away, how does that continue and give? How does that continue and give rise to the result?
Okay, say it's the same thing. Say the physical act of generosity, you do it, and then the very next moment, let's say that your mind is distracted to the cricket score, right? India and Pakistan, and your mind is immediately deviated from the act of generosity and deviated, which means that the act of generosity ceases.
Right.
So this act of generosity gives rise to the disintegratedness of the act of generosity.
Right.
So that is the disintegratedness of the physical act of generosity. So this disintegratedness will continually give rise to the next moment of disintegratedness, like this continuously till it gives rise to the effect.
That part is clear. What I'm trying to understand is that since it's a functional phenomenon,
yes,
there has to be the basis.
Yes. No, it is the basis.
It is the basis for giving rise to the result.
No, it's the basis.
But it also should have a basis to say that when we are saying it's an affirming negative, negative phenomena which is affirming, we are affirming something. Whenever we affirm something, there has to be a basis to identify.
What do you mean by basis?
For example,
so what's the basis of the flower?
There is some substance there.
What's the basis of the substance?
We can analyze like that, Keshla. But there is a basis, right? If I say I have a cell, there's a basis of aggregates. Aggregates are the basis to say there's a cell.
No, then that's it. This disintegratedness is made of, the many moments. So these moments are the basis.
Because, I mean, when you're giving example of the sound of the clap, the second moment of the sound exists. It's easy to understand that the second moment of the sound has the first moment of this first moment's disintegratedness. But if the sound completely disappears,
so you
the disintegratedness discontinues.
You see this disintegratedness as the color of the flower, and the flower is the basis. This is how you're looking at it?
No.
So you're asking, if I say the color of the flower, what's the basis of the color of the flower? Okay, I say that there's a pink there. What do you mean by pink? What is the base of that pink? You're looking for the flower. So this is how you're looking for the basis. This is what you mean.
I'm just completely open. I'm just saying that the action has completely ceased, or the flame. Let's say if we take example of the flame has completely ceased, and I agree that disintegratedness of the flame is there. But
so this is what Lama Tsongkhapa explains so well. That nothing is really there for what we would otherwise call as a basis. Therefore, I said nothing is there tangible. This word that I used. I used that. For us to say that impermanent phenomena, thus far, keep aside prasangika, for to speak about impermanent phenomena, there should be some substance there. You getting it? But for prasangika, we don't need that. Even without that, so Lama Tsongkhapa said that when the object disintegrates, the disintegrated object is no more there, and the object which is following the earlier object, which is similar to that object, is also not there. You getting it? So still the disintegratedness is there. So this is how the author Lama Tsongkhapa is trying to give us the insight that don't cling to something as a basis there, as a substance.
Keshla, lastly, related to what Pujala asked, that in terms of the karma, the mind continues and we can posit mental imprints, right? But can you explain, let's say, a flame, let's say just for 5 moments, the oil or whatever it completely finishes, the disintegratedness of this flame continues.
Yeah.
What will it give rise to?
It will give rise to the disintegratedness of the disintegratedness of the flame.
So abstractness leads to another.
Oh.
Yeah. Because
so
if
I said right from the beginning, I said that if we don't understand this,
I understand, Vishnu.
if you don't understand this, right? If you don't really appreciate this, meaning that, okay, I should appreciate it. Okay, yes. If you say like this is not the meaning of appreciation in this context.
Right.
Yeah. Meaning that, wow, it's amazing. This is how phenomena exists. If this is what comes to your mind, there's a hope for emptiness. Right? If the same way we are going in this direction, if you say the moment we say that, then is abstraction. If this is, there are two ways. Inquiry, there are two ways, right? Doubt, there are two ways of doubt. One, what is this? Abstraction. What is this? This is one doubt. Wow, it's amazing. I don't understand it. Still, I don't understand it, but it's amazing. It's saying something very interesting, right? If this is how you go, then you are taking steps forward. If you say, what is this? Abstraction, what is this? If you say like this, you are taking U-turn. Then it's up to the individual. You want to take U-turn or you want to take a step forward, it's up to the individual, right? Finally, the point is for you to grow. And these are the Prasanga view. Many people say that this is purely idealistic. Idealistic means not really fact. It's just what the abstraction by your thought. So therefore Mahatma Gandhi said, right, what? The culture of the West. Oh, it's a good idea. Right? It's a good idea. Meaning that there's no culture actually. Right? This is not just fact. It's just in a thought. So therefore, the point is that even with these approaches, you will see the wonder. Just change the approach and there's a chance to see this wonder. If if this is approach, oh, what is this? Just a bit abstract. If this approach, you never step forward. If you don't step forward, nobody can take us there. Emptiness concept is very subtle, very close to nihilism. In terms of experience, it is very close to nihilism. Only when we appreciate the conventionality, just within this conventionality, everything operates. Then you will see the wonder. This is what Aranigarjuna said. This is the wonder of all the wonders. This is amazement of all the amazements. Otherwise, then we have to create the world. Just create a movie and we live in this movie of the samsara. Okay, we'll stop here. Yes.
Krishna, then these millions of disintegratednesses.
Trillions, infinite.
Trillions. How do they connect to the single agent?
Oh wow. Which single agent?
Say for karma.
yes.
That now those millions of generosities and all, how do they kind of come together?
I see, okay.
It's related to Deveshla's question.
That's true. So this world is made of trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of atoms. How they're put together. How they come together, operate as one unit, operate as one unit, revolving around the earth, they revolve around the sun, right? And this whole massive thing, the world system, right? The 9 planets, the Pluto, whether or not planet, it doesn't matter. 9 planets with the sun in the center, again with the moon, right? They're all as one unit, again as a part of this Milky Way galaxy. What is that agent that is combining all of them together? Right? And all these millions of atoms with the body, the blood, they're doing their own job, and the food are carried from one place to other place, and the dead cells, they're removed, operated amazingly. What is the agent? And then we speak about, the food. What food? It's just like, say, the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, these atoms are, pass there, nothing who's eating this, it's just a combination of something happening, and then something goes out, and comes again, the taken away. Who's doing all these things? Right? There's no agent as such. This is the operation of karma. The karma is the one which combines all these factors together, right? Then the question arises, what the Ankitla asked, whether or not they are the same entity or different entities, right? Yeah. Well, you got quick dedication prayer, page 278. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful, generously Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Hare Rave Gorve Jingamzo, Penda Dewa Malu Chumbene, Jere Sewa Tenzin Gyatso, Chabe Zede Bardo Denguroji. Just as brave Manjuri summoned the part of two, realize things as they are. Also editing all these merits in the best way that may follow their perfect example. Jambala Nove Chedara Kemba, Kondo Sambo Tenyan Deshende, Deda Gunge Jesu Daloj, Yawa Deda Tamje Rabdo. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones, thus gone the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. Duzum Jebe Yawa Tamjege, Moa Kala Chodo Maban, Age Geva Zawa Digunja, Sambo Jeje Rabdo Baraiki. May the Supreme Bodhicitta, there is no reason arising grow, not diminish but increase forevermore. Chanjo Senjo Rembo Je Magye Banam Ge Yoroje Gyama Nyama Maya Kone Kondo Pemaraisho. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I truly remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I fully attain the sphere of Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization that taste and the prayers of the 3 times and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all life, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in 2 stages. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate my full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The path of union of emptiness and compassion is loosely explained by the pretender Buddha Dharma and the beings of the snowland. You are the lotus soul, the Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. Tonye Nyenje Zondo Jubelam, Chejere Zelze Kanje Dendugun, Chana Pemo Tenzin Gyatso Soa Debso Shendo Lundro Sho. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans who help our merits through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. Mola Mobe Gave Dembala Kuwe Najo Sujin Sumed Samjurangembe Joba Maduba Chosum Dembe Zeni Juguroji. In all my life, never separate from perfect gurus. Dharma, by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by Aramajishri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even in the course of my life.
It's 6 to 8 p.m. Day after it's 4 to 6 p.m. Topic is Bodhicitta, Tushita. Any questions? Ankitla? I thought you were asking something. Okay.
I have
all
one
right.
announcement.
Yeah, thank you.